All right. Well, welcome. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today in our first of our series of workshops on Gamification 101. Today, we will be discussing the power of gamification with the application of microlearning for the virtual training Cyberscape, with a focus on e-learning and mobile learning. I am recording today's webinar, so if you have to jump off early or if you have some colleagues that might want to get in on this, we will be offering this later as well. And for the virtue of time today, we're going to keep this right at 30 minutes or so. But feel free to join our chat group with any questions, concerns, comments that you may have. And I am going to turn off my webcam so we can get right into the good stuff. All right. So, like any good class session, we need to restate our learning objectives. So hopefully at the end of today's webinar, you'll feel more confident with how to apply more training techniques that improve your engagement and boost your retention. And yes, there will be a quiz at the end to test your knowledge. Like I said, we're going to keep this around 30 minutes for room at the end for Q&A to be respectful of all of your virtual demands for attention. So if you have to jump off early, we totally get it. Just visit our website for more information. We will also be offering a little gift if you're able to make it to the end. So on that note, let's get into the discussion on virtual training and how much that may have changed for your organization over the last year. So what are your challenges with remote in virtual training right now? Like I said, feel free to join the dialogue, add your comments to the chat. Whether you're a current client or someone just starting to consider gamification, we welcome your feedback. If you have any questions, oh, not sharing a screen. Okay, sorry, folks. Bear with me one second here.
Hey, good morning. I'm John. I'm part of Aaron's team as well. If you guys have any questions before we get started, feel free to open up the chat bubble on the side there. I'll do my best to kind of answer as we go along, in case Aaron doesn't see it while she's presenting. Technical issues are part of virtual learning now, so hopefully we can get this sorted out here on our GoToMeeting chat. And yeah. Bandwidth issues, slow internet, lack of tech skills. Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, right? I mean, I think folks, one good thing about 2020 is a lot of people got pretty good with, figuring out how to Zoom. We have a pretty, diverse group of folks that use our products. And so we've, I think people have gotten much better at hopping on webinars and kind of figuring it out. Crash course in Zoom, yeah.
Okay, are we
Well,
back? Can
it
everybody
does
see
help to
me?
have a sidekick.
Sorry
There
about
you go,
that,
Aaron.
folks.
Sorry.
Hopefully everyone can see my screen again. Like John said, that's the wonderful world of virtual and working from home and yeah, crash courses. So thanks for your patience. Challenges with remote or virtual training. Well, that was a wonderful unintended example, maybe, of that. And if you are adding your comments to our chat group, we welcome that feedback as much as possible. We'll try to speak to that as much as possible. John is my colleague, as he said, and will be helping kind of answer questions as we go. And just a little background on us as a company, we have over 35 years of involvement in training and or teaching. So in fact, I used to do what many of you are probably doing before I came to C3 SoftWorks. I was a training coordinator and department head for Topgolf here in Minnesota, where I had to onboard thousands of new hires with a week-long robust training session for multiple job descriptions and skill requirements, including HR, safety compliance, you name it. So we understand the challenges you're facing, just like we encountered just now. So we're in it with you. So don't be shy with any of your questions and comments that you might have. So yeah, virtual training is hard. And the truth about using games or any method as a teaching tool is that the games themselves are a content delivery method only. But the proof is in the pudding in how we use them. So as many of you know, the measure of successful training or teaching is the quality of absorption from our learners. So when we say less is more, we are going to talk about how microlearning helps break that density of information into manageable chunks or nuggets that is easier for learners to consume, as well as increase engagement and performance. So what is microlearning? While there is no official or universal definition of this, the agreed upon characteristics are all based in brevity. This means small learning units or short learning activities that are typically parts of a larger learning infrastructure. So the idea is to deliver knowledge boosting bursts of content with instructional intent. It can take many forms, but it should always be short. Today we'll be focusing on how to pair gamification with microlearning, but other forms may include text, like short paragraphs or phrases, images, all of the different kind of images that are available, so static or vertical or animated. Videos, like a short story style, audio, like a clip of a speech or a song, tests and quizzes. So we will talk about how gamification can deliver all of the above. In additional terms to know as we go through our webinar workshops is, what is gamification? The use of game elements and game thinking in non-game contexts. Serious learning is a real game that is built primarily for purpose other than pure entertainment. Engagement is active and intrinsically motivated participation, which is what we all want, right? And e-learning is learning conducted via electronic media, typically on the internet. Mobile learning is education or training conducted by means of portable computing devices, such as smartphones or tablet computers. The human attention span is shrinking in general by some considerable margins. So this is not to pick on millennials at all, because virtual fatigue and attention bandwidth decrease is kind of a new norm for a lot of us, regardless of age, due to technology and the pandemic and shifting ways to operate business and training and teaching. Many organizations are starting to realize that working from home proved as not only a viable solution, but actually increased their production while reducing overhead costs. And we'll be switching to this model indefinitely. So the days of boardroom meetings or classroom training sessions have been numbered and given notice, and we are asked to adapt. There is a new era of virtual connection being ushered in for how we train and how we learn. The reality, though, is that we all learn differently, and one-dimensional presentations can result in loss of engagement or consciousness, as it were. And disengagement can apply to different age groups, of course, but every age group loves games for interactive learning. By this means, we can help bridge that divide simply by having fun and being engaging. And in fact, that's the topic of our next workshop, if you're interested. In addition to decreasing attention spans, you may be familiar with the exponential nature of forgetting. As shown in this diagram featuring the forgetting curve by Hermann Ebbinghaus, adult learners forget 80% of what they learned in just 30 days. So organizations are looking to solutions to help flip that forgetting curve to a retention curve, maybe by implementing new learning strategies such as microlearning with gamification. These adaptive techniques help create a sticky learning experience that employs a one-size-fits-one landscape that helps accommodate different learning styles for that long-term retention, which can help demonstrate a positive ROI for your budgetary concerns. The benefits of combining virtual tools, such as games, with the application of microlearning are expansive and honestly still being discovered as we're learning how to use them. But here's the short list. Just-in-time learning consumes less time and resources and meets your learners where they are. It's easy to build and easy to deploy, which cuts costly development time. And it's in rich media formats, so for modern day learners who appreciate content packaged that way. It's accessible for the audiences who are used to consuming information on their device of choice, usually a smartphone nowadays. It's engaging for the ever-decreasing human attention span. And bite-sized nuggets of learning support and supplement primary and formal training through reinforcement. Microlearning is great for soft skill development, professional development, or your general compliance content based on its ability to be learner-centric and the ease of the update on the go. It can also be situational and leveraged with scenario training. Because the training is designed to be short and sweet, it can be easily accessed, extending to smartphones and tablets besides just laptops and desktops. This allows your focus to be on performance gains as well as content delivery while using the games to use that informal and safe learning environment. This has been shown to prompt positive behavioral change. And by turning content into fun, engaging, and interactive sessions, you can pull all learning styles into the game, even while talking about dry or dense concepts like risks and exposures or HR compliance, for example. So why does microlearning work? Just-in-time learning is an approach to individual or organizational learning and development that promotes need-related training readily available exactly when and how it is needed by the learner. The cognitive load is reduced, making it easier to process information because our brains just aren't wired to maintain focus for hours and hours on end. We operate best when we're fed small amounts of information over time. So microlearning can typically be consumed in 5 minutes or less. And some tips from one of our partners, the Bob Pike Group, is the more we repeat information, the more likely it is to wind up in our long-term memory. Studies show that short, repetitive learning increases long-term retention over spaced intervals. And when training is relevant and personalized, it reinforces transfer of learning to the job. According to the Journal of Applied Psychology, learning in bite-sized pieces makes the transfer of learning 17% more efficient. Plus, we have the added bonus of reducing costs and materials, as well as the benefits of on-the-go updates. So obviously we aren't in a lot of traditional classrooms anymore, as depicted here. But how can we capture the energy of team collaboration while we're distant and sitting in front of computer screens, like right now, for instance? Microlearning is designed to last no more than 5 minutes. So what if you could send out a quiz that was both instructional and asked open-ended questions that encourage people to participate and stay connected? Games can help us do this as a knowledge boost, as a review tool, or even a pre-certification for more dense concepts. I think we lose some of our ability to stay connected in a holistic way, in a humanized way, when we interact only through transactional texts and emails and presentations. So sometimes, using that ancient method of making hard things more fun, we can remember to celebrate each other and relieve some of that pressure. Yeah, got deep there for a moment. So of course, one area that can be a challenge is that real-time feedback in this environment of self-paced e-learning or microlearning. Our software allows us to identify these knowledge gaps and remediate in real time through our reporting feature that functions like our very own LMS or learning management system in our cloud. Or it will talk with your LMS, so you can not only send out fun ways to teach and connect, but also get actionable feedback for more teachable moments. We can incorporate mobile learning with microlearning by sending bite-sized quizzes and games to our learners. So here are some learning nuggets, once again via our partners at the Bob Pike Group, who specialize in expert training, consultation, and virtual certifications. In fact, they offer a comprehensive virtual training session just on microlearning that you might want to check out if this little free session has sparked any interest for you. So here are the quick tips. Strive for brevity, an eye-catching title, and a conversational tone. Have a single topic and a single audience focus. Make sure your message hits on the WIFM acronym, like what's in it for me, and replace text with graphics for a more skimmable format. And gamification is about more than just playing games. It can be defined as the concept of applying game design thinking to non-game applications. So in other words, we're thinking outside of the box for non-linear requirements to create that dynamic engagement that we're all really striving for. In the application of microlearning, we're using some templates as the delivery tool for more engaged learning while boosting knowledge and retention. So when we make learning manageable and consumable nuggets, we make our learners active participants in their learning process. So here at C3 SoftWorks, our subscription program is an annual license to our game templates in our cloud service. And each game has its own delivery benefits and methods with very intuitive builders, which work for instructor-led or self-paced or both training sessions. We also include training and support for as long as your account is active. And with the launching of our Bravo Zone on January 1st of this year, which is our new output platform of HTML5 for all of our current games and future games moving forward, we will frequently release new games throughout this year. So now we will get to experience a quiz, and it's using a mobile learning template called Spark. So this would typically be sent out via a link in an email or a social media platform for you to conduct a quick knowledge test or just connect with your team maybe. So today we will be seeing how the quiz works and a review of what we've discussed in this session, and also a quick peek at the builder. And if you notice, I have the word play embedded with a link. So that's our game. Our games will seamlessly embed to a link and open to another window in your browser from a PowerPoint session like today, for instance. Or you can upload to your LMS via a SCORM file and present from there. It's really that easy. So let's see what we have learned so far. We will get into our quiz. And I will bring this over. Okay, so here is our Spark Learning quiz. And in the front, I have our logo. I included a little audio file in case you wanted to do that. I just wanted to demonstrate that that's available. And we're going to imagine, if you will, that this would be a self-paced game, like I said. So you would be sending this out to a student and they would be completing this on their own time. And this is an opening slide of our game or our quiz here. And we're talking, this is just talking about what we're going to go over in this quick little quiz. And how engaging do you feel your training program is for 2021? This is an example of an open-ended question that could be used to encourage participation. So for the purpose of today, maybe we'll say, you know, I'm not feeling that confident about how my gauging my training program is, so we'll say not very. And your student would be able to submit this answer as well, and then you would be able to see that in your reports. And then here's my little feedback. Thank you for your response. We hope to help you find some solutions. And then here's one of our questions. How does microlearning connect with gamification? Select all that apply. Well, it is accessible wherever I go. Yes. It is delivered via technology. Yep. Is it bite-sized and designed to engage? Yes. Does it reinforce a primary focus? Yes. Yes, because of all of the above, gamification is a great vehicle for microlearning. So this is a slide in our quiz to deliver some bite-sized information. And that little nugget of information is microlearning can be defined as short, focused learning nuggets, 3 to 5 minutes, that are designed to meet a specific learning outcome. They are typically part of a larger learning infrastructure and delivered via technology. So I'm kind of reinforcing what I just went over. Microlearning delivers the following: short, focused learning events, just in time and just for me learning, part of a larger learning structure used for performance measures, used for general knowledge recall, and typically active and engaging, delivered via technology. What are some of the ways to use microlearning in our training? So we talked about how we can use text, we can use images, we can use videos, we can use audio, and we can definitely use a quiz just like this. So yep, of course, it is all of the above. We now live in a virtual new normal of connecting and training and learning. So how we leverage our tools to avoid virtual burnout is now more important than ever. And here's my little GIF of the bouncing guy on the ball at his desk. And we can use image markers for visual learning that sticks. So we can click on the image to access the correct answer, such as maybe the smartphone or the laptop, to the question of what are the ways that virtual tools make information more accessible. So in this instance, I'm using a hotspot on my image to answer this question. So I can click on my smartphone or the computer, and I have answered that question using a hotspot on that image. And that's a little audio file. Bite-sized quizzes for self-paced learning that is interactive can be a game changer for your training program. So when we combine microlearning with gamification, we have that ability to boost knowledge and increase retention. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. So we've reviewed some of the benefits of microlearning in business training and its impact. So we're going to ask all of the benefits that we remember here. So is it learner-centric? Yes. Is it just-in-time learning? Yes. Is it accessible wherever you are? Yes. Is it a rich media format? Yes. Is it less time-consuming? Yes. All of the above, of course. So here's some additional benefits, and I'm again using this slide to reinforce some of the information that I might have identified. You know, maybe there was a knowledge gap in the last question. Here's some additional information. It's good for the planet, cuts over 85% of carbon dioxide emissions. It improves efficiency, reduces the required time for students to learn the material. So how confident do you feel to build a microlearning unit like this? Well, some of you might be like, oh, I totally got it. This seems, super easy to do and learn. Some of you might feel like, ugh, not very confident. That's okay. Here's my feedback. No worries. We're here to help. Our templates are easy to use and intuitive. Plus, we provide ongoing training and support. So here's a little image of one of our game builders. This would link you to our YouTube page, which has a large gallery of all of our training support material, videos, etc. And then here's our closing screen. Thank you for completing this quiz. We hope we've shown a fun and easy and engaging way to deliver your content or whatever message you might want to send to your students. If you have a leaderboard, you can access that here. And then our questions. Quick scoring summary is located right here. So again, it's meant to last, no more than 5 minutes. It's great for a quick review. Maybe after a session that you have done, you can access this. And for the sake of time, I will quickly go into some of the builders to show you just how easy that is. So here's the landing page of our Bravo Zone, which we call our cloud account, basically. You
Hey,
can.
Aaron, sorry, would you mind making that browser full screen? There's some people that are having a harder time seeing it.
It is full screen for me right now.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is. Yep, sorry.
Okay, no worries. So we can go into our create button to go, see what the games are, what the options are. We'll click on each one for a quick summary. So this is our Hollywood style, Jeopardy style quiz show. So it's multi-category. You can have quite a bit of content in this. This is probably one of our most popular games, I would say. John, back me up on that if not. Spin-off, it's a spin the wheel. So it's multi-category. You get to choose whether you want those categories to be sequential or not, or random. You can do this in classroom mode or self-paced, just like quiz show. And it's the spin the wheel, like I said. Catapult. This is great for maybe a microlearning session. This is a wonderful energy booster. It's animated, it's campy. You are on teams that are trying to burn down each other's medieval castle. And you're, launching fireballs or rocks or garbage if you get the correct answer. It's fun. 10 to 12 questions maybe. Quick little microlearning unit to add some energy to a session. Tally is going to be interactive. It's just for instructor-led or live sessions. It's going to be similar to like PowerPoint, where you have lots of slides of information, but you also have the ability to do polling questions. You can use the image markers for hotspots. You can have a chat bubble, which pops up live with people's answers. So that's great for instructor-led presentations where you have maybe a lot of information. It's not going to have as many gaming elements as the other game templates, so keep that in mind. But it is great for presentations maybe in between. For mobile learning or e-learning or self-paced learning, we have these two options. So Whirl is kind of that casino style spin to win. You get more bonus points every time you answer correct answers. The categories are kind of at random, and it's just also a great fun, microlearning style game to send out via a link in an email or maybe on a social media platform. And the one that we just played was Spark. So I'm going to go in here quickly with time remaining to look at the builder for this. I'm going to hit start. it's going to bring me right into the builder. I'm going to say demo for my title and select this and hit save. And then it's going to work me through this kind of bar of progress right over here. So in order to add any content, I go here and I can click this button to add content. It's going to give me options for a question, multiple choice maybe, or select all that apply. I can add my slide of information. I can add an open-ended question, or I can add that image marker with adding a hotspot for people to select an image to answer the correct answer. So if I click on question, it brings me here. Here's my question. I have a preview option and a summary option per question where I can add media or audio, or maybe even here's my media option here. I can link to a URL. So if it's a dense concept, maybe I have a video that I can introduce in the preview so that my question is short and concise. You can do a YouTube file or media library. So here's some options here. The settings for each question are here. And I can also use my library. If I've been saving my information, you'll see I have some folders over here. If I click on one of these, it drops down all of my questions. And if I have this saved up, say I want to maybe send this out as a review, like I said, and I have some saved content, I can just drag and drop that right over here, and now my content is there with all my media, everything attached to that question. So pretty intuitive, like I said, pretty easy. It prompts you if you miss something. And then over here, I have my following options. So I can get really creative with graphics. I can change this whole background. I can go into settings. I can change the interface text if I want. So instead of saying next, I can say, continue, or whatever you might want to use. On the bottom, I have a help option that will give me quick little tours and a search bar here if I have specific questions, or you can always ask one of us, of course. Saving at the end, and then playing before you publish. That's important to make sure that everything looks correct, your images are right, you've selected the correct answer for the question, etc., etc. And then here, before I can share it with my team or with my students, I have to publish it. And on the top, you'll notice you can upload it to your SCORM file. You can click this button to copy the link, stick it into an email and send it out, or paste it into a social media platform. My sign-in requirements are here. If you want to show a leaderboard, you keep this on yes, but maybe you want this to be a little less competitive and more about connection, you might make that no. And then your sharing options are right down here. So that's a quick overview of the Spark Builder. If you have more questions, certainly visit our website, and we have a wealth of information there. For the purpose of today, I will return to our presentation, and we will open it up for some questions and feedback for the remaining minute that we have left. I'll hang out for any additional questions that you might have. And feel free to, keep going on the chat group there. And then I also want to share some of our contact information. On the left-hand side, that's my personal contact information. Otherwise, our info at c3softworks.com. And in closing, thanks so much for joining us today for this webinar. I hope it has given you some fresh ideas for your training and in the new normal we find ourselves in. And, we believe in the power of gamification so much that we want to get you in the game, whether that's with us or not. But our little offer of a free gift is if you have a training session coming up anytime soon that you want to kind of, try this out for, we'd be happy to give you a week-long subscription to our cloud where you can go into our games. You can even publish them and use them for a session if you'd like. So what we need from you is adding your name and email. You can add it to the chat group on here, publicly or privately, or you can send an email to us. You can send it to sales@c3softworks.com. And if you would, use the code word WEB11, and then we'll contact you with those next steps. We'll make sure that you know how to use everything. We'll do a quick onboarding session with you, be much more in depth of what I just did about how to use the builders so you feel pretty confident. And when you actually use it, it will be of value to you. So feel free to send that in if you want to give it a whirl. And in closing, we are at 30 minutes. So thanks so much again for joining us. I hope that we'll see you in additional workshops that we're offering. And like I said, if you have additional information or needed or questions, you can visit our website. You can email me. You can email John. You can email info. So thanks everyone. Take good care. Stay safe. Stay warm. If you're here in Minnesota, it's just nasty cold. And we hope to hear from you real soon. Thanks.